Okay, question one. How do we have a three-part reunion of a 16 episode season? You didn't give us enough for a three-part reunion. You're a one and done. So they have the whole set done up as that castle in Ireland, and the ladies all painted in a classical style. But how you gonna do a classic painting of today's plastic surgery? Yes, Teresa, your hair does look better than that rat's nest that you got married in. Oh, Lord. We'll get to it and we'll get to the looks at the end of the video. Oh, my God. Teresa, why are you assaulting Andy like this? He don't need his hand all over your made-up bust. He's gonna get sunless tanner all over those cards. So Teresa wants to close the chapter with Melissa and just get peace. But your heartbeat is giving mad monkey. Why do you think you're going to be a calm chimp? Oh, God. So Teresa starts off complaining about how horrible her family is trying to hurt her before she got married. Your Simeon was starting it. Exactly, Melissa. How did anybody hurt Louis? Louis always started with Joe. Joe was trying to keep the peace. Oh! Teresa said, let's do it like Beverly Hills does, one at a time. Melissa said, you ain't Beverly Hills, so that ain't going to happen. You're Joyzy. Joyce. All right, so let's get into the business dealings with Louis, Dina, and David. So, because Dina's husband don't want to be a part of the show, they ain't gonna spill that tea. But I'll be keeping my eyes peeled for court documents. After that, we get to why didn't Teresa invite Melissa's mama, since the Italian thing to do is invite the family and the in-laws. Family! I feel like it's Teresa's wedding. They've never gotten along. Why bring her? Why invite Melissa? You should have just had Joe do a video call and call it a damn day. And let that be that. Why fake the funk? If I don't want you at my wedding, I invite. Oh, Jesus. Now Teresa whining about when I was single, they never invited me out to dinner. You hate Melissa for marrying the man you wish you could, but because of incest laws in this country, you cannot be with Joe Gorga. I'm tired of rehashing it. Melissa said, you just use us when you need some family, and then you run off after we take care of your kids. That's how she is. She's a user, a hateful user. Now, Melissa's pulling up all the times they did go to dinner with photographic evidence, but that was another night, Teresa. Y'all hang out, you just don't like them. But Teresa is still living in her cloud of delusion. Yeah, it's not a love bubble. It's a cloud of delusion. Eyeliner and delusion. Andy said, well, in the beginning when you were dating Louis, y'all were all hanging out and it was cool. And she said, well, yeah, because Joe brought him on the show. It always has to be the show and making money. You've been doing this for 13 years. This got you out of federal restitution. You owed millions for fraud. You need to be grateful you got a show and can make money. We live in a capitalistic-ass America. Everything is about making money. Girl, your point is moot. Also, someone who went to prison for fraud involving money, I wouldn't say anything about making legal money. I'd keep that under my toque. I'd just be proud I'm making some legal money and not scamming banks with my husband. And that is a fact. No allegedly, because you went to jail for it. Joe got deported for it. Your kids got to leave the country to see their daddy because of your financial felonies. But you want to talk about, oh, get on the show and make legal money. You know your brother ain't got no damn job. He is the Tommy of this show. Oh, Melissa said he had been trying to fly out to get on the show. He wanted to be on TV. You don't get on a show like this and not want to be on TV. Oh, and he was trying to go out with Alexia from Miami Housewives before he found the trash Teresa. Teresa, let Melissa be out your life, but you don't hire and fire, because I'd rather look at her than you. Although, honestly, both your storylines have been resolved. We've been watching you heifers fight for 13 years. Enough. Andy, there have to be some more interesting families in New Jersey. Oh, God, now we're getting to Teresa's rat's nest. I mean, it just looks so hot and smelly. However, now Marge is pissed she went to Teresa's wedding when Louis was getting private investigators on her like Bo Diddley or whoever. I mean, Marge, we already know you can't run a business and have gotten sued twice. What else is there to embarrass you about? Your old neck, we saw that too. However, we changed topics to Black Dolores and her lobster. Ooh, he ain't. I mean, if she can look up in that face, that house though, she can look up in that house because that face, Jesus. I mean, I like bacon, but I couldn't fuck a pig. Black Dolores likes that he's willing to be a part of your life. You like that he's not sleeping with your ex-husband, like the rest of your boyfriends did and do. Ain't he still living with David? Somebody asked, so what about Frank? And she like, look, he was fucking around and having his own life during the marriage. Can I get some dick that's just for me? Then once we got divorced, we had to keep sharing dick. I finally got some dick of my own. Leave me alone. Yeah, Frank and David are still living together. I'm telling you, I know shared's long when I see it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. They happy. They ain't hurting nobody. Oh, but now we talking about Dolores moving in with Paulie, and the intention is different. You've been engaged almost as many times as Danielle Staub on this show. Every season, it's a new man, a new engagement. Somebody else is building you a house. You've developed half of Franklin Lakes at this point. You've had so many houses built for you. However, he got a ring, but he doesn't have a divorce. Oh, God. Andy talking about his kids want another dad. They just don't want to look at you. Andy, when you tell your kids, look at me, which eye do you have them focus on? Which one? Because I know they got to be like, okay, where am I looking? Where? Oh, God. We're coming back from commercial break to talk about Danielle. I would call her a dud. A true dud. You thought it was going to be a bomb that just never went off. I found her contrite. I found her storylines weak, boring, and I'm unattracted to her husband's spare tire. All in all, you're a failure in yellow. And whenever I see a white woman in yellow, I know her mama didn't teach her shit. I mean, we're starting out her package with this crap with her brother who ain't on the show and we don't know the full story. So basically, Danielle's plotline was a half-baked idea and none of our business. Oh, so she gonna meet up with this long-lost brother right after the reunion. Child, they sending back baby gifts. Yeah, you ain't telling us the full story. But you're also not interesting enough for us to wonder about the full story. And if the guy ain't on the show, why you telling his business? Or is this your way to slowly drag all your family on this show so they can get fat off the Bravo Titler, like the Gorgas and the Judices? What? And Housewives of Jersey is his favorite show? Well, like you, he doesn't have taste. Danielle says to Margaret, you know, Margaret, I hope that maybe you know something that can shed light on this rift between me and my brother. Since you've got the arsenal, maybe you've got the answers. Marge can't answer her own court summons. Girl, boom, she can't fix your family drama. So we gotta go over Marge saying, look, if you can't forgive or forget, you're always gonna have problems with your family. She's right. If you can't, you'll never have resolve. If you're always gonna hold on to it, it's always gonna be eating at you. She got a point. Marge said, I'm sorry if it was harsh, but it's true. Oh, God. So Marge is saying, look, I tried to help Danielle in business. I gave her some good hookups. And then Teresa said, you never helped me. Teresa, you were on the show longer. You were already set up selling them little cookbooks. I want to know who was buying them. However, Teresa, this isn't about you right now. You did flip on Marge, Danielle. You felt that she was the weakest to attack because you definitely weren't going up against Teresa or Jennifer. So that's where you felt you could get your moment. Unlike Rachel, who never had a moment. Then Andy asked, where's Danielle and Melissa's friendship? And we can't get an answer because Teresa's, she's so nice. She's so welcoming. Shut up, Teresa. Shut up. Ooh. I just realized Teresa's dress looks very similar to the dress that Regine sewed for that soap opera that she was working on that Maxine then stole, and it was a tearaway. Y'all see it? Okay, Danielle, the mean girl jokes about your fashion weren't mean girl jokes. You just don't have style, and you showed up to set wrinkled. You've been watching this show too long. You know better. Marge said, look, you had a great first season. You got a ton of endorsements. Ooh, I have loved Jennifer has not said a peep in 38 minutes. And really, she's had nothing to offer. She exposed her cheating husband. Jennifer said, Andy doesn't need endorsements. I don't have endorsements. Andy said, I love my endorsements. Are you kidding me? Jennifer said, I'm swimming in Chanel. You are swimming in knockoff. Knock off, because all your husband's money is going to that airport. That cold, empty airport. Andy said, so why did you keep running off when you actually could have made a moment? Danielle said she thinks she was shocked. You just weren't prepared. You don't know how to read. And you certainly can't shade. So now we're getting to the whole Marge arsenal comment. Danielle said, I never said it. Lauren said that you had an arsenal. But because you were repeating it, you gave Margaret a moment and she talked about it all season. Danielle, you're right. Margaret knows how to beat a dead horse. But that's bravo. It's what we do. What the hell? Now Rachel comes out of left field saying, Danielle, you take no accountability and that's why your brother don't fuck with you. Okay. Well, at least she came out swinging. Oh, God. Danielle said, Rachel's the biggest bitch ever walking the face of the earth. Honey, Rachel is a white woman in yellow. Bitch, please. You can't be a bitch if you don't even know what colors to wear. Wait, Danielle, you're saying your balls drag out the door, but you literally ran from 3/4 of the confrontations you could have been in this season. You just stormed off with your thick husband. And here's the thing, you can have a ring around the middle or thin calves, but you can't do both. Andy's like, hell, for why you at 10, this fight didn't seem to be a big deal. And it wasn't, but she's just trying to have a moment at the reunion because she needs that check. Girl, when Andy is saying this is the dumbest fight, you better check that mail for your contract. Black Dolores thinks they should drop it and it ain't worth it, and it's not. Oh, wow. Black Dolores said, look, y'all gonna bury this with this season. We are not rehashing this next season. Can we do it? All right, let's move on. Andy? Yeah, because my mouth is getting pretty dry talking about these stale-ass topics. But back from commercial break, now we get into Melissa's new house. It's cute. It's cute. Oh, somebody asked Teresa, why publicly shame Melissa's daughter for not making it to your daughter's Sweet 16? Because she likes to put family business in the street. Because she uses her family dysfunction for direct deposit. Teresa gonna say it was a setup question. It wasn't a setup question. You started it. Even Black Dolores said it wasn't a setup question. Andy said, well, Melissa, you done talked about Gia on your podcast and said them kids have hate in their heart for you. But that's a fact. But look at they hateful mama. Felon mama. Chimp marrying mama. I'd be embarrassed. Then the chimp he marries gives you fake Cartier. And the whole internet talking about it. Ooh, talk about bad stepdad. Step-parent. Melissa said, your kids have missed plenty of events. I would never throw them up under the bus. Teresa gonna say, well, you said you put food on our table. Yeah, while your husband was getting deported and you were serving your federal sentence for fraud. They kept your mortgage, your lights on, and your kids fed. Joe wasn't even on your visitors list. Teresa, you keep saying Melissa's lying, but you're never able to counter that with evidence. You just say she lies, she lies, she lies. But who was working and paying those bills during that time? Because the government had seized your money. You owed millions in restitution. So how were the bills paid if it wasn't for your brother? This has been a pretty good reunion. I swear, I only took like 4 days off. Maybe 5. But I've got 800 shows to catch up on. After that, we talk about the baseball player comment that Jennifer couldn't wait to tell Danielle. Marge and Melissa were like, child, that's a joke we told at dinner. And Jennifer is like, well, I understand that could be a joke. Girl, you was trying to spill some tea for Teresa. Because if it's attacking Melissa's marriage, it's coming from Teresa. And you're just upset it didn't work. You look desperate, tired, and uninteresting. But Jennifer says, Margaret, why wouldn't you let your friend on the show? And Margaret's like, I am not in charge of casting. Why am I the girl that has all the power? Marge said I wanted her on the show. And the heifer thinks Marge kept her from getting on. That's the thing. It's very rare people can put you on or keep you off. That's casting. I mean, unless it's like a Candy Burris situation where somebody lied on you and you could possibly sue the network, then they're going, let you have your little bit of say. But other than that, it's casting. It's casting. Because these heifers couldn't cast, and a lot of their friends are boring. Oh, Lord. And now we are relitigating yet again how Melissa got on the show because Teresa said she did it behind her back. It's been 10 years. Why do you care at this point? Teresa, if she hadn't come on the show, you wouldn't have had a storyline. You would just be in prison and poor. Poor. Teresa said, I had a baby on the show. I got married on the show. I went to jail on the show. Melissa said you went to jail for fraud, financial fraud. We're proud. But at least she can say jail and not away. Like you're some fake gangster. Like you're from some family where you're not touched. Girl, you and your husband got touched, pushed, kicked, and thrown down the stairs of life and theft and prison. Now Teresa talking about Jacqueline Laurinaitis from 8 seasons ago, who Melissa hasn't seen in 40 years. And now apparently Joe's ex-partner who ratted Teresa out didn't go to jail because he turned on her. But if you weren't stealing, it wouldn't have been possible for you to go to prison. You see, nobody can rat you out if you're not doing a crime. Know how I'm not in jail for murder? Ain't killed nobody. Amazing, isn't it? Know how I'm not in jail for grand larceny? Ain't stole shit. Maybe a heart or two. Melissa said, girl, first you were saying Carolyn Manzo put you in jail, and now Teresa says, I think you did. Then you would have been in there for a lot longer. All right, well, let's get to the second episode.